Guys, in ServiceNow, we can send um, three types of notification. We can send three types of notifications. One is email notification. Another one is actually mail notification and push notifications as well as provider notifications. Well, mostly the organizations we use email notifications, guys. Push notifications are nowhere used in the organizations, and no provider notifications are used in the organizations. Organizations mostly 99% use email notifications. Okay. So these email notifications will be sent out when record created, updated, deleted. Okay. Let us say when HR case record is created, when HR case record created. Okay. When HR case record updated, when HR case record short description changed, when HR case record short description updated, when HR case record description updated, when HR case caller updated, when HR case assignment group updated, when assignment when HR case additional comments updated. Okay, so when HR case record deleted, so in that case we can send the email notifications. Okay. So we will be primarily discussing about email notifications in today's session. Well, let me just go to the personal developer instance. Okay. So if you take a look at here, I'm just logging into personal developer instance. Let me open the personal developer instance here. So if you take a look at here, system notifications, if you see here, email notifications, push notifications, and provider notifications. There are actually three types of email notifications, I told, right? There are three types of notifications: email, push, and provider. Push and provider are nowhere used in ServiceNow. We mostly use email notifications in ServiceNow. So before we understand about email notifications topic, we have to understand email properties, guys. We have to understand about email properties. Okay. So service now, service now, if you take a look at here, if you take a look at here, just go to the application navigator, just type email properties, just type email properties. Okay, you can click on email properties here. So when you click on email properties, you see outbound emails and inbound emails, outbound emails and inbound emails. When ServiceNow sent out an email, when ServiceNow sends an email, we call that as outbound email. When ServiceNow receives an email, we call it as inbound email. Yes, ServiceNow can also receive the email. Let's say Joshua, Joshua has sent an email to ServiceNow. ServiceNow will receive that email. So like we all have email addresses, ServiceNow also has its own email address. Okay. So like we all have email address, right? So if you ask me my email address, I can provide you my email address. If you ask Kondaya to provide his email address, Kondaya can provide his email address. If you ask um, Anusha, Anusha can also provide his her email address. So likewise, every ServiceNow instance has its own email address. If you send an email to that particular email address, ServiceNow also can receive the email. Okay. When ServiceNow sends an email, that we call it as outbound email. When ServiceNow receives an email, we call it as inbound email. Okay. Understand, right? So see guys, from here you understand there are three types of notifications in ServiceNow. We are focusing on email notifications. So emails will be triggered when record created, updated, or deleted. Okay. And one more thing, event fired. Event fired. So when record created, updated, or deleted, or event fired, email notifications will be sent out. So we have some email properties. So what are those email properties? Okay, we have inbound emails and outbound emails. Inbound emails means when service now receives an email, that we call it as inbound email. When service now sends an email, that we call it as outbound email. So if you just go to the personal developer instance, okay, so these are actually email properties, guys. Okay, so in service now there is a module called emails module. Under system logs, there is a module called emails module. Okay, so if you just open this particular emails module, okay, today how many emails are sent out from ServiceNow? If you just click on all here, you can see how many emails received. Here in the email logs, we can check how many emails received, how many emails sent out from ServiceNow. Okay, how many emails received and how many emails sent out from ServiceNow, you can check it in the email logs under system logs. Under system logs, if you just click on emails, so from here you can check which email is sent out from ServiceNow, which email is not sent out from ServiceNow, which email is received in ServiceNow. Likewise, you can check every email that is sent out from ServiceNow, every email that is received by ServiceNow. So here we have outbound emails, outbound ones when ServiceNow send an email to external mailboxes, that we call it as outbound email. When ServiceNow receives an email, that we call it as inbound email. Okay. Do you understand the difference between outbound email and inbound email? everyone. Okay, fine. So we are primarily focusing on outbound emails today's session. Outbound emails. Outbound emails. Okay, outbound means when ServiceNow send out an email, it is called outbound email. Okay, we are going to discuss about outbound emails in today's session. Okay, so we will see outbound email properties, outbound email configuration. If ServiceNow has to send out an email, this checkbox must be checked. If this checkbox is not checked, ServiceNow will not send out an email. This is very important, guys. Okay, if if this checkbox is not checked, if this checkbox is not checked, okay. So if this checkbox is not checked, it will not send out an email to email addresses. This checkbox must be checked to send an email to the mentioned email addresses. And there is another property, send email to this test email addresses in non-production instance. Guys, as I told you, we have three instances in the organization: dev instance, production instance, and test instance. Only from the production instance, we have to enable this checkbox. If you enable this checkbox in the non-production instances like dev environment and test environment, employees will be getting dummy emails. Okay, employees will be getting dummy emails. So that is why we don't check this checkbox in the dev environment, in the test environment. This checkbox will be checked only in the production environment. Getting my point? This checkbox will be checked only in the production environment. In the dev environment and the test environment, this checkbox will be unchecked, because from the dev environment and test environment, you will be receiving, employees will be receiving some dummy data. So that is why we will check only this checkbox in the production environment. So if you want to test something in the non production instances, send all emails to this test email address. So you will write email address here, so that all emails will go to this particular email addresses. For testing purpose, you can mention the email address so that it will receive that email. Hope you understand. So along with the time, if you want to append the time zone as well, along with the time. So if you take any created time, updated time in the notification, so along with the time, it will update the time zone as well. So watermark. Watermark is like system ID, guys. Watermark is like system ID to the email. Okay. So like every record has system ID, right? So similarly, every email has watermark. Every email has watermark. So what that watermark will recognize, this email is sent out from which particular record. So from which particular HR case record this email is sent out. So that is a recognition, guys. Watermark is a recognition. So if you take a look at course material, uh, if you take a look at the course material, mm, okay. See here, you are able to see UCS here. You are able to see UCS logo here. This UCS logo is a watermark, guys. You are able to see logo here. This is a watermark. Means this course content belongs to only UCS. This course content belongs to UCS. Okay. So watermark means this is watermark, guys, here. This U letter, right? This U letter you are able to see. This U is nothing but watermark. Okay. This U is nothing but watermark. Okay. This watermark, this watermark is recognition that this course curriculum belongs to UCS Infotech Institute. So similarly, if an email is sent out, if an email is sent out, okay, which particular which particular from which particular HR case record this email is sent out. That is a recognition. Let us say you created a HR case record, and once HR case record is created, email will be sent out. Once the email is sent out, so email will have recognition that okay, this email is sent out from this particular number HR case record. You understand? Everyone? Okay. If you take a look at here, if you take a look at here, resend email if server returns these SMTP codes. When ServiceNow send out an email, if email is not received, if the email is not sent out and the SMTP error, there is an SMTP error. So when ServiceNow send an email, if any error comes, if any error occurs, so email errors, just type email errors here, email error codes. Okay. So error code 421, service is not available. Try again later. 450, 450, 451, 452, 455. Okay, 500, 501, 502, 503, 504. These are actually email errors. So when service now send an email, if there is any error occur, okay. So when the error status is this one, 421, 450, 451, 452. So service now will try to resend an email. So resend email if server returns these SMTP error codes. Okay. Okay. So don't resend email if server returns these SMTP error codes 500, 501, 502, 503. So you can see those error codes here 500, 501, 502, 503. If when ServiceNow sends an email, if server returns these error codes, if server returns these error codes, okay, so it will not actually resend the email. It will not resend the email. If the server returns these error codes, it will try to resend the email. If the server doesn't receive these error codes, it will not actually, it will not resend the email. Okay. So resend email where when server returns unknown SMTP codes. So apart from the listed ones, if any unknown error, okay, let us say X4Z, X1Z, X2Z, X3Z, X4Z, XYZ, okay, syntax errors, replies to information request, unspecified mail system status. So these are the error codes. Okay, these are the error codes that we are actually okay. So these are actually unknown error codes, guys. If service now receives any unknown error code, so resend an email. So it will try to resend the email. Okay. So here you can see roles that can view email in the activity formatter when including send received emails. So, well, here, guys, if you go to the HR case record, Okay. Okay. So this is called activity formatter. So let us say when once this HR case record is created, it will send out that email, right? So that email log you can see here. Okay. Here you can just use this filter option, filter activity option. Scroll down. Configure available fields. You can see emails auto-generated, email correspondence. So auto-generated means ServiceNow, whatever the emails that are sent out from ServiceNow, right? So that is actually auto-generated emails. Correspondence means whatever the emails that are received by ServiceNow. Okay. So if you want to see them in the activity formatter, if you want to see them in the activity formatter, scroll down, go to the activity formatter. You can see filter activity. You can click here, configure available fields. Okay. So you can add email auto-generated email correspondence here. So that what happens is that it will actually show the emails that are sent from this particular record, emails that are received on this particular record. Okay. So this is actually about this particular property, guys. If you have ITIL role, if you have ITIL role, you will be able to see which emails are received by which emails are received on this particular record, which emails are actually sent out from this particular record. So when you have this particular role, you can do that. So number of journal entries. So journal entries means additional comments, work notes included in email notification. Well, guys, here, uh, if you take a look at here, journal fields. Here, this additional comments is a journal field. Did I explain about this journal field, guys? Okay, let me explain about journal fields. So, guys, journal fields, whenever you enter something here, this field don't hold this value. This field, journal field won't hold this value. Okay. So what you will do, you will save this one. You will save this one. So that value will be stored in a separate table, guys. Journal field values are stored in a separate table. Remember this point. Additional comments is a journal type of field. Okay, this is a journal type of field. Whenever you enter something here, whenever you enter something, okay. So whenever you enter something here and save this form, this value will be stored in the separate table. Okay, that is actually journal field table. There is a table called sys underscore journal underscore field dot list. Okay, in this journal field table, you can see in the HR case table for the additional comments field, this particular record is system ID HR case record. This is the value that you entered. So there is a field called journal entries field, guys. In this field, all the journal values are stored. Let us say I am entering something here. I am the Gadiparthi. I'm just saving this one. Okay, I'm just saving this one. So this value, whatever the value that I am entering here, I am Uday Gadiparthi, it will be stored in the journal entries table. You can see in the HR case table, in the additional comments field, in this particular record HR case system ID, in this particular HR case system ID, you have entered this value at this particular time. Hope you guys are clear. So the field type, whenever you are creating a field, right? Let me just go to the additional comments field. Okay. Field type, you select the journal input. Okay. The field type, journal input type. If you select that, that is called journal fields. So additional comments type is actually which type? Journal input type or not? Hmm? Okay. So journal type of field values. Okay. So there is only one field, journal input type of field. There is only, okay, two fields, work notes and additional comments. These two fields are journal input type of fields. Whatever you enter here in these two fields, whatever you enter in these two fields, okay, that field values will be stored in the journal entries table. Those field values will be stored in the journal entries table. Okay, just a moment, guys. Fine. So here in the email notification, if you have to show journal field values, okay, if you have to show journal field values, so here you can see number of journal entries included in the email notification. So if I want to show the additional comments field value, okay, if I want to show the additional comments field value, here first three values will be shown in the email notifications. First three additional comments, latest three additional comments will be shown in the email notification. If you keep -1, okay, okay, number of journal entries, additional comments included in email, -1 means all. So if you want to show all the additional comments that are entered on the record in the email notification, you select -1. So if you keep one here, latest comment that you added will be shown in the email notification. You understand my point? So this property enables email addresses internationalization when true. Okay. Well, please use scheduled jobs. Please use scheduled jobs. Enable email address internalization and disable email address internalization to turn the property to true or false. So first of all, we have to understand what is internationalization. What is internationalization and all you have to understand here. Okay. Hmm? So internationalization is about language translation, guys. Okay, internationalization is actually about language translation. Let me just open this particular system property. This is actually in the Salesforce application. So email addresses internationalization (EAI) allows non-Latin based characters in email addresses when sending emails to or from Salesforce. So it is actually in the Salesforce application. In ServiceNow also it will be the same, guys. Okay. So allows non-Latin based characters in the email addresses when sending emails to and from Salesforce. You need to choose email addresses containing a mix of American Standard Code of Information ASCII and international email addresses are sent as a separate or single emails. So email addresses internationalization. Latest one is actually we are in the Janada release only. But where is that property, system property? This is a new feature that is introduced in the latest release, guys. I'll understand about it and I'll update you, okay? So this is actually about internationalization is actually about language translation. It is about characters. Okay, we will understand more about this internationalization. I'll be explaining about in detail in next session. Okay, this one is latest one. Even if you see here, that is not updated in the documentation as well. Okay, that is not updated in the documentation as well. See, if ServiceNow has to send an email, this checkbox must be checked. If this checkbox is not checked, ServiceNow won't be able to send the emails out. If this checkbox is checked, only then ServiceNow will be sending an email outside email addresses, guys. Outside email addresses means organization email addresses. If this checkbox is not checked, ServiceNow will not be sending the email to email inboxes. Okay. So before we understand the email notifications topic, you must check this checkbox. You must check this checkbox so that ServiceNow will be sending an email to your email inboxes. Hope you understand, Basuraj. Hmm? Well, we have uh, inbound inbound emails. So inbound emails means, guys, here when ServiceNow receives an email. Okay. So far we did discuss about outbound emails, right? Now we'll discuss about inbound emails. Inbound emails. We call it as inbound email. So if ServiceNow has to receive the email, if ServiceNow has to receive the email, so this checkbox must be checked. So as I mentioned already, guys, as I mentioned already, so if I have to send an email, let us say if I have to send an email to Vamsi, if I have to send an email to Kondaya, if I have to send an email to uh, Basuraj, okay, if I have to send an email to Anusha, if I have to send an email to Ambika, so how can I send an email to them? I have to take their email addresses first. I have to take their email addresses first so that I can actually send out an email. I can send out an email so that they will be receiving the email. So if someone has to send an email to ServiceNow, ServiceNow should have the email addresses, right? So where can you find that? Where can you find that email address? So you can find that email address in the email account. Go to email account. Okay. So in the email accounts, you can see SMTP account. Okay. So here in the personal developer instances, in the personal developer instances, this feature is disabled. This feature is still there in the organizations. So organization ServiceNow instances will have this feature, but this feature is disabled in personal developer instance, guys. Okay. So ServiceNow emails receiving feature is disabled in personal developer instance. But organizations in the company ServiceNow, you will be still okay, you will be still receiving the email on the organization instance. Okay, getting my point. Okay, fine. So here the personal developer instances will be something like instance name, instance name, at servicenow developers.com. Okay, instance name, at servicenow developers.com. Okay, so you have to send an email to this particular email address. You have to send an email to this particular email address so that ServiceNow receives that email. When ServiceNow receives that email, you have to go to emails. You have to go to emails. Okay. So here in the type received section, you will be able to see the emails that are received by ServiceNow. Okay. So as you all know, like we have email addresses, every ServiceNow instance has its own email address. You have to send an email to that particular email address so that ServiceNow receives that email. When ServiceNow receives that email, you can find that email in the emails received section. Getting my point? Okay. So what you will do? You will go to your email inbox. You will go to your email inbox. Okay. And here you will just click on this. Here you will just mention dev email address. Type something here. You will type something here. Create HR case. Okay. Hi team, please create a HR case. Many thanks. Right. So I have sent out an email. So once I sent out an email, so here you have to come to this particular email logs here under system logs. In the received section, you will see the email address, the email that you sent here to ServiceNow. Okay. So likewise, you will be sending an email to ServiceNow. ServiceNow receives that email. When ServiceNow received that email, you can see that in the email logs. Once it is received in the email logs, okay, once it is received in the email logs, okay. Uh, so to receive that email, this checkbox must be checked, guys. See, even though you sent an email and ServiceNow has not received the email, why is that? Because this checkbox is not checked. If this checkbox is checked, ServiceNow can also receive that email. ServiceNow also can receive that email. So, guys, here, um, whatever the email that you sent, that is a replied email, that is a forwarded email, also ServiceNow can recognize. ServiceNow can recognize the email that is actually sent is replied email or forwarded email. If the subject prefix contains RE colon, AW colon, R colon, accepted colon, tentative colon, declined colon, then ServiceNow will understand that as a replied email, identify email as a reply by these subject prefixes. ServiceNow can also understand if that is a forwarded email or not. So identify email as a forward by these subject prefixes. Okay. So FW colon, FWD colon. Okay. So we will identify ServiceNow identify that this is a forwarded email. So using the system properties, ServiceNow can recognize that is the email that is in a new email or forwarded email or replied email. So if you want to add any prefix, you can also add a comma separated prefix as well. Okay. Automatically create user accounts from incoming emails from a trusted domains. So guys, if you go to the user administration, if you go to the user accounts, go to the user account. So here you have list of email addresses, right? You have list of email addresses. Suppose Suppose I am actually sending an email from this particular email address. Okay. I am sending an email from this particular email address. So this particular email address name is Uday Kishore servicenow@gmail.com. So this email is not listed in the user's email list. Is this email isn't here, guys? No, right? The email address is not there in ServiceNow. Okay. So I am sending an email. I am sending an email from this particular email address to dev triple two something like that we have to mention. So we are sending an email here. So once we send an email, okay. So first of all, it will check the email address that is actually send is exist in the ServiceNow user table emails or not. So Uday Kishore ServiceNow @gmail address email address is not there in ServiceNow, right? Okay. So in that case, create a user account is what it is telling. Automatically create a users for incoming email address from trusted domains. You understand my point? If the email address that you are sending, the email that you are using to send an email to ServiceNow, that email address is not there in ServiceNow means if it has to create a user account automatically, you will check this checkbox. Hope you understand. Hmm? Just a moment, guys. Okay. Well, here, guys, if you understand this point, trusted domains. See here, um, I am from TCS company, guys. So TCS company will not allow other domains, other company email addresses to send an email to ServiceNow. Okay. So here, if you want to allow Wipro company employees to send an email to ServiceNow, TCS company, uh, ServiceNow, you will just mention here. So the email address which is ending with @wipro.com, you can also send the email to ServiceNow. Okay, @wipro.com, @tcs.com. So these are actually domain names. But Wipro.com is a domain name. Okay. TCS.com is a domain name. ServiceNow.com is a domain name. Okay. WM.com is a domain name. From these domains, if you send an email from these domains, consider that as a trusted domain. If you send an email from cognizant.com, it won't accept that particular email address. You can see here, ignore trusted domains when creating new users from incoming emails. Ignore email from untrusted domains unless use existing user star for all domains. If you don't mention any domain name, it will not receive that email. ServiceNow will not receive that email. If you want to accept all domains, you use star here. Star means all. You understand? Everyone, email properties. Hmm? Email properties are clear. Hmm? Let me allow you to ask your questions, guys. Hello. Let me allow you to unmute yourself. I have unmuted everyone, guys. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. Somebody was practicing and they have some doubt.
Hi, Uday.
Yeah, hi, Revati.
It's me posted in the group.
Yes,
Uh,
please.
can I share my screen?
Yes.
Give me access.
Yeah, sure.
Uday,
Yeah.
where I did mistake. You see already.
No, what is the error here?
Okay. Uh, when I click the close button, the additional comments is displayed. It's okay, but here I'm giving data from script.
See, this
When
is
I
new.
close,
This
what
is new record, right? You need to make sure this record is actually working on. This button is appearing only on the existing records. Go to the UI action.
okay, one moment. Yeah, this is the UI
Show
action.
in uncheck the show insert checkbox.
Insert.
Uncheck the show insert.
Okay, okay. Okay.
Hold on. Scroll up. No. Yeah,
Script.
okay, fine. This looks good.
Yeah.
Go to the
Adding.
go to the
Yeah,
UI page.
this is the UI page. When I click on close button, it's not work true statement if condition is
At
not
the fifth
working.
line, you wrote on click O capital letter, U small letter there. At the fifth line, on click
Okay.
O small letter.
Uh, tried both, but it
Hold on,
not.
hold on, hold on. Uh, and in the client script, at the third line, remove the space between gel and adcom.
Okay.
And comments dot trim after the trim, use space. Not there. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Hmm. Uh, looks good so far.
I'm showing even it's a server script also you can check once. Is anything
First of all, I must appreciate you for doing all these things, because I can understand that you are practicing here.
thank you, thank you.
Start get parameter. Go to the UI page once.
Yeah, sure. UI page.
Here, I don't find any issue here.
Yeah.
Go to the go, go to the script include.
Scripts include. Okay.
At the ninth line, you mentioned here it as closed. That will be taken as a variable. That should
Okay.
be in the that should be in the strings, single quotes.
Single quotes.
Yes, that
Actually,
will
it's
be.
the developer name. I think field name, right? That's it.
Yeah, value
Oh,
closed. That should be
value.
also in the strings. If you don't
Oh,
mention it in a string, that will be considered as a variable.
okay, okay. Now can I try?
Save it first.
Okay, okay, okay.
still appearing here. Open the new form.
Okay, then it is a new form. And just
Okay.
fill some more. Now I'm saved.
Okay.
Got here it displaying close button. When I click on close, here I'm giving.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, now it's working. Thank you.
Okay, fine. Keep up your good work, okay? Vamsi? Vamsi, you are playing with your kids?
Yeah, Uday.
Is that true? Is that true, Vamsi?
Sorry. Yeah, Uday. Hello?
What I have asked, did you listen to me?
Ha. Yes.
What did you listen?
You ask a question now. You were playing with your kids or not, right?
Yeah, you are playing with your kids without listening the session.
No. Actually, my timings I told you now, like 5:30 to 7. It's a very tight schedule for me. Uday. Like now also, na I just put some away and I joined actually in middle.
Hmm.
That is the problem actually. Mm.
Hmm.
Mm. Maybe I think at this time I think I'm not able to join daily in this time.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.